Hello, everybody, and welcome to Crack in Time Titanic, the serious finale, the sinking. Nice to see you all. I hope you are all doing very well. It should be an interesting one tonight. Obviously, we've been watching over the last 4 weeks, and this is it. This is the finale. So I'm gonna send an email to me guest. And as soon as he comes on, we're going to start straight away because I'm having some technical difficulties on my end. So, um, just so it doesn't um, mess up, we're going to go as soon as he comes in. So, I've sent the email. So, we'll just wait and see what happens. And then we'll get started. And I hope everybody's doing well. So, we'll just see what happens. Do. Here he is. Here he is. Right. We're gonna get going straight away because I'm having some technical difficulties.
Right.
So I want to just do the countdown and if anybody wants to come in, we'll give them a timestamp. Jeremy?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah,
There's a
go
kind of
ahead.
delay
Do the
there.
countdown, mate.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
There we go.
I actually feel sorry for her in the whole of this.
Yeah.
And then he redeems himself and then he dies in it.
Yeah, but he gives her we won't say that, but he does
Yeah.
something else. There's
Yeah.
a couple of redemptions in this. This is it.
As the Leonardo DiCaprio said about Titanic, it's like a story from the Bible. You couldn't write it any better.
Yeah, true.
So the amount of money they must have spent on that set.
Yeah. Apparently the
It's
film is a
amazing.
huge water tank.
Yeah.
Apparently this whole thing's on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah. So I was checking and yeah, it's on YouTube, but I didn't want to take the chance just in case it was slowed down. It didn't look like it was slowed down, but
Yeah. I mean, after a while, they just allow them to put them up on YouTube.
Well, this is it. This is what the last 3 weeks have been leading up to, folks.
Oh, look at the CGI is quite good here.
It is.
It's moving over the bow of the forecastle deck of Titanic. Wow.
They're
Then
very
you're
well
into
done.
the
Very well
restaurant.
done. Got to
Yeah.
remember, this is a TV show, not an actual big budget movie.
Yeah. It's not bad for a TV show, even though so it was the episodes over 4 consecutive nights or 4 consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
A different point to the story and the complete voyage of the Titanic. I mean, they had to create a story for Harry Widener here. They had to create a love interest because it was for the audience.
Yeah.
Even though this never happened in real life between a passenger and Harry Widener.
And with the top table and a meanwhile, this our couple. Right.
I'm just marvelled by the designs in that restaurant. I mean, they've got it quite spot on to the lead glass windows as well, and the wood carving of the oak pillars and everything like that. You can see it, and the table covers and everything, and the lights.
Yeah.
But the kind of shading of the kind of, I think it was the varnish they used and for the oak panelings and that, and you can see how it's well carved and all that. I don't think it was as dour as that on Titanic. It was very bright because you can see in the photographs as it's black and white photographs that they're all clear and all that, and they've come up nice. And especially for 1912 and the cameras back then,
Yeah.
they got a lot in it, a detail. And then that with Lightoller as well, with Dorothy Gibson. I don't think he ever did that either. It's just to make the narrative and the quite more interesting. Mrs. Rushton. Celia Emery's a very good actress. I mean, I've seen her in quite a lot of things, and I've seen her in Doctor Who, and she's very good in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Actually, she would have been my choice for a female doctor if they went that route, because I think an older female doctor would work rather than a younger one. And that might be controversial to some, but I'm
Molly
not told.
Brown, New Money, what?
Yeah,
That's what they were called, New Money.
yeah. It was apparently her husband had struck rich and she left her. Well, she left her husband and he went off with somebody else, and she got all the money and all that, and the divorce settlement.
That poor husband.
Yeah. But I could believe the women back in the day treated their husbands like that, because
Yeah.
I mean they were they were seen as the kind of, the they were like, well, you could say that the first class were looked at to themselves as better than anybody else in that, and so did the first class women's. But it was the second class were looked at as, and the third class were looked at as skivvies, if you could say. That they were only there. They did everything. They did the cooking and the baking and everything that, the cleaning and all that. They didn't have maids and anything like that. It was just the first class because they had the wealth and the power and the money and the arrogance of them. You can see it right through them. But the first class, you can see the total difference. The first class are apparently arrogant and snobbish in their money and all that, while the third class are, they're like the real human beings on Titanic. They're like the life that's driving that ship, because you think it this way, because they're the immigrants. They're the ones that's going to a new world. These are the ones that's living their life to their full. They're the ones that's worked really hard for their lives and that, for their families and that, and they're taking a big risk aboard this ship, and they don't realise what's lying ahead for them. So this is a very challenging time for them. And that's them going on about the speed.
Wow.
Yeah. I think he looks exactly like William Murdoch because I've seen the photographs of William Murdoch and the way he looks. I think he is superb casting. I mean, him I can understand, and I kind of empathize with him because he's met a nice young girl, and they're both in love with each other and that, and they want to get, well, they're thinking about getting married and that, and
Mm.
you just have to like these times because everything was proper. Everybody
Yeah.
had their place and all that, and not what it's like now. I mean, you get attacked for just saying a thing or something like that, or doing something they think is wrong in that. Oh,
Iceberg dead ahead.
iceberg right ahead. Hard to starboard. Hear the grinding of the metal and that, and the plates.
Oh,
No. I believe they've got the iceberg right in this one. See, he knows that they were going too fast.
yeah.
And that night, and he said that there was no breaking at the break of iceberg, the base of icebergs. I mean, Titanic was ill fated from day one. It must have been like a series of warnings, like like there was something wrong with that ship from day one. It was like if anybody could realize that everything was being pushed too far. Benjamin Guggenheim with his mistress. And his wife was on board the Titanic as well, I think. I love the first class corridors.
Yeah.
Really. And the way they locked the cabins, I mean, they locked from top to bottom back then. They locked them. They locked them because when the ship was sinking and everybody was evacuated, they assumed everybody was up on deck at the time, so they locked every cabin. So facade.
Yeah. Oh.
I know.
Oh.
No, no.
Oh.
I know. They take their animals with them as well. But still, a lot of first class animals died on Titanic as well. Actually, the lifeboats weren't perfect. I mean, they had their flaws, and
Yeah, they did.
even
Yeah.
the crew exactly were quite understanding about the flaws these boats had. And there was boats that were reportedly taking on water even when they were out to sea before they were picked up by the Carpathia. So you could understand that some of the passengers were reluctant to go into one of these boats and go out into the open sea because they wanted to be in the warmth of the Titanic. They didn't believe the Titanic would sink. The CGI is absolutely impressive there, I would think.
It is actually.
And the lighting is good too because it captures the darkness of the outside as well. Unlike James Cameron's version of the Titanic, he had full lights on the Titanic as it was going down for the cinema. There's one good thing about this is they never showed William Murdoch shooting himself in this one. But with the other films that they do show William Murdoch shooting himself. And we don't know who or what part of the crew shot themselves that night because there
Oh,
wasn't anything
this is sad. He gives
said.
her his will.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh. Oh.
oh. He was a good bloke. He made up for what he did at the start, man. But I don't know why he didn't make a run for it, man. Give it a go. Why?
And when she survives, she feels it. So this is Jack Thayer, the one that did the drawing of the Titanic when it was sinking. No.
I know. Oh my god. I
Yeah.
forgot how sad this episode actually is because it does
Yeah.
lead up to it sometime in every episode, but
Yeah.
oh,
Bruce Esme just gets in. See the look she gave him. Wow.
Yep. If looks could kill.
But imagine being trapped in that metal hold, and while that water's filling up and it's freezing. And when Harold Bride, the wireless operator, eventually got off the ship,
Yeah.
he got frostburn bite to his toes, and it was that bad that they had to bandage up his toes individually, and bandage up his feet right up to his ankles, because it was that bad. He managed to get rescued by his brother. See?
Yeah. I say Captain Smith was. We know he was in shock. They reckon he was in shock, but I mean,
Yeah. Well, there was rumours that he had found a baby. Captain Smith was swimming in the water, and he found a baby to give to one of the lifeboats. And once he gave the baby over to one of the women, he swam back, and he says, "I'm going to follow that ship," and went away, and he was never seen again. I don't know if that was true or not, but there's a lot of stories about Titanic. But this is a real sad moment here. Sad
this
bit.
is the saddest moment on the whole show. They've been leading up to it all the time, and I've been dreading when they show the whole clip because he knows they're screwed now.
As you see, these iron gates are they're locked shut on Titanic on the wreck, because they're like you can see them in the post office on the Titanic, because they've been down to the wreck and they could see that the gates had been shut.
He knows it's over.
Yeah.
Oh. Damn.
Damn, that is really.
Damn.
Imagine being a father and that was your child, and you know it's very, very Very difficult, that. And the drop that these passengers had to drop from if they wanted to get out and evacuate the ship and jump into the water, and the water was freezing. So this is one of the last collapsible lifeboats. They're trying to get it off the ship. And the ship's going down faster now at this point. Oh. Oh. They're already dying already in the water, and they've no chance in that freezing water. That's pretty accurate, because the first funnel did collapse on John Jacob Astor.
Yeah, that's how he died. Like, he got off the fucking ship at all, like.
Yeah.
And ends up getting a smack of the funnel.
Yeah. But they found his body, and it was badly broken up, and it was kind of covered in coal soot as well, and it's a lot of the bodies that were recovered from the Titanic in the ocean that were recovered by the Mackie Bennett, they were too badly mangled to be recognisable.
Look at that.
Wow, that's amazing. I would think that was the most accurate breakup of the Titanic.
It is even more than the movie.
Yeah.
Even more than the movie. I like the breakup of this ship in this one.
Yeah.
The only thing that annoyed me was there wasn't enough of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I would have liked to see more of it. You know, even if they did, but I think they were over budget at that point.
But still, look at the way it's rising and all in the background.
Yeah.
It's perfectly accurate. And the noise it would have made, that had to be heard all over.
Oh, yeah. It scared the passengers in the lifeboats. I mean, the noise of that ship, it terrified them. The women that survived that, I mean, they went through horrible nightmares because of that. Because it affected them all their lives until they died in their old age, because they could never forget that tragedy. The screams and the crying, and one survivor says it was like a piano getting flung downstairs. That was like the noise of what was happening to the Titanic as the boilers were crashing through it. But to sit in one of these boats and watch that and hear these passengers screaming in the water, because they had basically no chance. They were dying in the water because it was that cold.
Look at that.
I would have liked to see more of the passengers hanging on in the stern and all that.
True, but it's dramatic enough as it is, I have to say.
Yeah.
Jesus, I forgot how good this was.
See that's the typical comment of is it Lady Duff Gordon?
Ah,
I know this is the saddest scene.
I know. Cause because they made up. They said let's go down fighting, and this is sad. There's so many sad moments in this episode, man.
She's a great actress. She's
Yeah,
and then when it starts to get quiet, you know that they're dying off, and a lot of passengers would not talk about Titanic. I mean, even when they came to New York, they arrived in New York on the Carpathia, and then the press started to meet them up and that and question them. I mean, they wouldn't talk about it.
ah,
And the
they
worrying
waited a
thing
bit
about
too
this
long to go
point,
back as well, though. That's how a lot of them died.
yeah,
The fact that they waited too long to go back. Whereas if they had a coin, they went back not straight away because obviously the swell they didn't want to get sucked down. But
yeah,
if they had went back a lot sooner, they probably would have saved a lot more passengers.
yeah. But see,
As
the
you said, the
problem is,
freezing water killed most of them.
yeah. See, this is what if they went back, they would be swamped by them. But at that point, in a few minutes later, the sounds of the crying would have died down to such an extent.
Oh.
They should have done something with the condensation coming out their mouth to kind of mimic the cold. Because I mean that would just be perfect. See, the crew were offered bribes and all that, but the crew didn't give in. Because the crew were determined to keep the passengers that were remaining safe, and the other passengers were in the water.
Yeah.
So the passengers that didn't manage to get on that collapsible onto the back of it, I mean, they would have died anyway, and they were holding on anyway. That's what happened on Titanic. Many male first class passengers dressed up as women just to kind of sneak on board, and even teenage boys that didn't even get onto Titanic, they tried to sneak on board the boats. The ones that didn't survive, they were just let go into the water, and then picked up a week later by the Mackie Bennett.
Same lines as the James
James
Titanic.
Cameron is Titanic. Is there anybody alive out there?
Same tone as well.
Yeah, and the light you can see, the lamp is holding. I mean, they would have been lucky if they got about 7 passengers they would have rescued from the freezing water that night that were alive.
Ah.
Oh, imagine if that probably happened in reality.
Oh, I know, yeah. Like, what would he do? What would he do? Like, his wife is dead. Like,
Yeah,
how could you ever go back to normal after that?
I don't think they would. I mean, it would have scarred them for life, psychologically.
Ah, she lost
He's
her
dead.
boyfriend.
Oh,
This episode's actually quite sad.
yeah.
Like we know what's going to happen, but every time you see it,
Yeah.
you just feel sorry for. It doesn't matter whether you're first class, second class, or third class. You just feel sorry for them all.
They all basically they all came together on the Carpathia. The first class, the second class, and the third class.
Yeah.
They all did. Even though they put their differences aside, they had all lost someone that night or something that was that close to them. And they basically lost all their life that night. The first class as well, and the
This is where she apologizes to her, isn't it?
yeah, when she saves them. See, the drink would have quickly warmed him up, and he would have survived. I mean, the drunk baker, I love that about the drunk baker. As the Titanic was sinking, he climbed onto the back of the ship, and he rode it off without getting his hair wet, and it was kept alive in the water because of the drink. And then when he was pulled from the ocean, I think he got frostbite. Because I think there's photographs of Harold Bride in the frostbite.
This is it. Yeah, don't lose that letter. Such a shame.
Yeah.
Still get you, no matter how many times they redo the story, telling it from a different angle, it doesn't matter. Always gets you because it's about real life people.
Yeah.
Although exact figures were never established, over 2,200 people were on Titanic. Only 705 survived or something. 100 years later, Titanic has not been forgotten. And it never will. This was actually released on its 100th anniversary.
Yeah.
Actually. And there was a documentary to go with it, I think, as well.
Yeah, there was. I thought this series was interesting, even though it was complicated from the points that it was telling from, and I found it when I first watched it, it was a little bit off-putting.
Yeah.
But for as the years have went by, I've begun to appreciate this.
Yeah, I love it. I have to agree with you. When this first came out, I wasn't really that impressed. And I thought, oh Jesus, they've wasted all this budget and it's not really great. But then I rewatched it again.
Yeah.
And I found myself enjoying it a lot more because I could understand what they were trying to do, and I've enjoyed it even more now. I think it's up there as well, if they ever did, well, it is the best Titanic show that they've made, and they've done a few now. I think this is the pinnacle. But this episode had, it focuses more on the individuals and the sinking now in this one. Very sad as well. But I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10 because I thought the sinking was amazing.
Yeah.
For me, the only thing that's always bothered me about this is that there could have been a lot more of the actual breakup of the Titanic, but what they did show was pretty epic, I have to say, for the budget that they had. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. What about yourself, John?
I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It is impressive. I mean, the acting's very good. The characters are very good. I'm very impressed by what they'd done. They built the interior of the ship, the dining rooms, the smoking room, the fireplace, and all that, and all the pictures and that. And I'm really impressed by the amount of detail that they went to in this film. I mean, building the second class dining room as well, and the third class accommodations as well. I mean, you can see the third class accommodations. I've got replica third class accommodations in Titanic Belfast, which you can peer through a glass wall and you can see it all. They've got it all replicated, and they've got the first class staterooms as well. They've got them all replicated as well, and down to the wiring, the exact wiring of the day, and all that, and all the lights and all that, the lamps and all that around it, and as well, and I think the decor of this Titanic is quite good for an ITV TV kind of series. The budget's been well overused and all that, and to get the sinking that we did see, I mean, but luckily we got that, because it could have been just complete CGI, and it could have been done poorly. But with the talent that they've done and the costumes that they've done, they've put a lot of thought and effort into making this kind of believable. But the only problem I have with this is because you don't see the condensation coming from their mouths, as they're in the ocean and that, to kind of get the idea that it was cold and all that.
Yeah, I agree. That is a bit of a, but that's only that's a smaller, minor detail, I suppose. But you are right. I would have probably made it a bit more real. But in saying that, for what it was, I think overall the whole series has been average it out at an 8 out of 10. The whole series, I would highly recommend this series. To be honest with you, the first and the last episode are great. It's in the middle where it gets a bit bogged down, but in saying that, you kind of need it for when you get to the end, because it's clever what Julian Fellows did. He focused on certain characters, so we'd see the bad side of them, and then then we'd feel sorry for. He knew what to do. He knew very clever writing. I have to say, very clever. So overall, I'd give it this average season. Overall, an 8 out of 10. So I'll ask you what you'd give it overall.
Well, I would give it a kind of 9 out of 10. I mean, it's good entertainment. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, and what they're expecting from Titanic, they're probably expecting something else more than that.
Yeah.
But I think what they'll do with this series is they'll look at this mini series, and what they'll do is they'll polish it up, they'll polish the effects up, they'll add stuff to it, and maybe in 2022 they'll relaunch it, as well as for the 110 years into the Titanic sinking.
They might. Let's hope they actually do. Yeah. Because I enjoyed this. But look, we're gonna leave it there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get John to do his shout outs. Next week we have True Lies. And obviously what'll happen is we'll see what we'll do next week. I haven't really thought of that yet, because I wasn't feeling well yesterday. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but I wasn't great. Cheryl wasn't great. We're still kind of a bit icky. So leave it with me, but we will do something else, Titanic related, as we said. Leave it with us. But for now, I'll get Real Super Doctor to do his shout outs, and we will leave it at that. Come back tomorrow night for some contact. And if you haven't checked out my video that I threw up earlier on, Jodie Whittaker says Doctor Who's the best thing she's ever done. So go and check out that article. By the way, just to let you know though, Doctor Who TV put up an article talking about Michael Sheen being the #1 pick for fans.
Yeah.
So I literally linked the article and put it in Twitter, but apparently now the article is not showing up. So either Doctor Who TV have pulled the article or something's gone wrong. I'll try get it back up again. But that does seem strange that they were talking about Michael Sheen being fans' #1 choice. And if they did take down the article, that just goes to show you that they're trying to control the narrative there. I did put the link in Twitter. You can check it. I checked it myself. Someone said it's not working, so I checked. It was working the last time I threw the article up, so I don't know what's going on. So I'll try throw it back up again. But John, do your shout outs and we'll leave it there, buddy.
I've got a YouTube channel under Real Super Doctor, and I've got a Twitter account under Real Super Doctor.
Fantastic. And don't forget, guys, to use the hashtag Shane for14. I'm gonna find that article because I'm not if they've pulled it down, I'll be actually really surprised. Because, why would they pull an article? And yeah, right though, by the way, it is fans, because if you've noticed, the other fans have kind of all died off now because Whittaker is leaving. They don't give a crap about the show now. So I'll try find that article and throw it back up again. If not, I'll do a video and I'll read out the article if I have to. I'll find it though. So yeah, come and join me tomorrow anyway for Contact. We'll be here over the weekend as well. So come and join us as well. I don't know if we've actually picked the classic story for this week, so I'll let you all know tomorrow what the classic story is. So come and join me for that. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there now with the hashtag Shane for14 video and then the Craic in Time titles. I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me, John. Absolute pleasure.
No bother.
Again.
Catch you later.
All right. See you later, pal.